Welcome to the ripple effect of love for dads and families. A story about choosing joy, choosing to be the best that you can be. And how do you get that support? Oh, I have the wrong thing happening here. Let's see. There we go. Trying to hide that. Here we go. Hello and welcome. I'm Christine Bernat, stress management coach, and learning to do all this best I can. So, today I have a story for you that I read the other day. I'm shifting it a little bit, but basically, if you're a parent, a dad, right, who wants to leave a legacy of love, so your value aligns with love, but you have friends or family that don't believe in that. So if you're the person rising to reach the top of the mountain, and every time you reach a new level, you look down and you ask everybody at the bottom, oh, what do I do next? And then they answer you, and you keep going. It's hard, but you're doing it. And at one point, if you're doing snap, tap, zap, I just had to put that in there. Your inner wisdom comes in. And why are you asking people at the bottom who have never been to the top, right? Never been successful in leaving a legacy of love to support you on your journey? Would it not be better to look for those who have reached that? I'm not saying I'm the best expert, but I'm saying I can be part of that journey with you so that you can learn to just be more yourself, to take actions that align with your true value. So if your value is listening to understand, and you've got people at the bottom of the mountain telling you, yeah, just keep going, you've got this. But are they giving you the tips and tricks that you need to self-regulate so that you can listen attentively to understand the other person? What if you look at the top and you see somebody who knows how to self-regulate, who knows how to stay calm within and to connect to their energy wisdom and to release all that stuff that you no longer need? And I've said it before, but what happens to us between 0 and 7 plays in the back of our mind. Some of us are able to say, my parent was this way, and there's no way I'm going to be there. And kudos to you if you've turned that around. I was able to turn around certain things. For example, arriving on time for appointments. My dad could be an hour, 2 hours late. You're expected somewhere for lunch, and I just got to do this, or the train, or whatever it was. You'd miss your train and have to take the next one. So that was one of the things that I was able to shift easily because it annoyed me so much. But there were other things about myself, like being triggered into anger. I had seen that pattern on a daily basis, many times a day. And my dad was a nice guy. However, when he was stressed, anger was very dominant in his way of being. And even though I didn't like it, I was not able to, well, I was able to for quite a while. And then at one point, I wasn't able to anymore. It was like there was this overflow that started happening, and it was just coming out at the seams. And then some, right? Something big happened and triggered me, and I couldn't contain Dad's anger that was inside of me, being that pattern. And I had to reach up and find out of the box solutions to be able to learn to self regulate, to be able to learn to release that energetic hold that he had on me, or that I took on. Maybe that I took on would be more appropriate in this case. And sometimes we do this at such an unconscious level. It's not easy. Never said being a parent would be easy. Being a dad is not easy. Whether you're the dad at home or the dad working, that you both have different types of challenges, or maybe the same ones. So, are you reaching for the top, listening to those at the bottom who have never reached the top? Or are you today saying, hey, where am I doing that in my life? Am I really doing this? Is there something I'm carrying from my dad or from my mom that doesn't belong to me, that is not who I am at my core? Like being on time is something that I value. For my dad, who cares? Well, now he doesn't have much of a choice because I drive, and I say to him, if you're not ready, Dad, too bad. I don't have extra time. I can't bring you to the appointment. We'll just cancel it. So now he gets ready on time, and my mom helps him, obviously, and I give him a quick call to make sure he's on track, getting there, getting ready. There's all these other little tips and tricks that we can do to support being there on time. So there are so many different things. And when you are following your value, making choices based on that value. So if your value is listening to understand, deeply, and you don't have a strategy to keep you calm, centered, and grounded, and you always want to be giving your opinion, and your opinion is the best, and your way is the best. It's my way or the highway. Ever heard that one? Have you said those words to yourself, or can you hear them? Has somebody said these words to you? It's okay, but you get to choose right here, right now. Let's take a deep breath. Let's tap a little bit to keep that amygdala calm. Relax the shoulders and zap that out onto the train. As I'm certain you're feeling that you no longer need it. And if you still want it, it's okay. There is no right or wrong answer. The only answer that counts at this point is the one that's in your heart. What is it that you want for you that aligns with your value? When we're raising children, are we just repeating what our parents said to us, and maybe our parents belittled us? And it's important to maybe ask your significant other, you're doing this as well, where you're doing it, because sometimes it's unconscious. It is. I mean, when my son told me that I wasn't dramatic, that I was neurotic, I was like, what? I mean, I know I lost my marbles a few times, well, my SHIT a couple times, but I Didn't realize it till I gave myself permission to look deep within to see what that was. And to say, oh my goodness, I am so, so sorry. Of course, I apologize to both my children for that, because that was a really, really tough time for them to have their mom that way. And they were smart. They moved away, they kept their distance, which is very smart. And then once I got things, my ducks lined up in a row again, they're back in my life. They're back spending time with me and enjoying that time together. So that's what's most important. So your values that you have at your core, are you respecting those values? And when you make a choice, are you asking yourself this question? Does this answer align to my values? So does this question, your daughter or your son, come up quickly? Dad, can I? Mom, can I? Pause. Right? They're in a rush. Do you need to be in a rush? Sometimes, yes, of course. But if you can just snap, tap, and zap, and ask yourself, if I say yes to this, does it align with my core values? And as our children get to be teens, this is a challenging one to be able to say yes. Or we can say, give me, when do you need an answer for? That was one that I loved using. When do you need an answer for? I need it in 2 minutes, or I need it by tomorrow. So that gives you time to think about it, mull it over, discuss it have a conversation with your significant other to see how you want to do this, right? Because you want to be following your heart. Excuse me. So what's one joyful moment you've shared with your family recently? I'd love for you to share that in the chat. What is one joyful moment? A joyful moment can be just taking the time to pause, take a deep breath, and because you're taking time for you. It doesn't need to be the whole day. Some days maybe. But just taking those quick moments throughout the day make a huge difference in how things are for you and how things are for your children, for your significant other, your spouse, right? And I know we will get comments from people who are at the bottom of the mountain, who are seeing us climb and say, oh, look at him go. He thinks he's better than us, right? Ever heard any of those comments? I certainly have. And it's okay. It's them with themselves. There's a part of them somewhere that might be a little bit jealous that they're not making that choice to follow their heart. And it doesn't mean that the friends that you have today are the friends that you will have tomorrow. Or maybe your friends will all stay the same, but your coaches, your psychologist, your psychiatrist, your support system might change. And that's okay. So is your support system bringing you closer to your goals, to your values, helping you stay aligned with your values? Take a good look. Sometimes we don't realize that we have people supporting us and they're cheering us on one hand, but on the other hand, what's going on? Do they sometimes, are they allowing you space for who you are? There's so much stuff out there on the internet today where people are, you've got to do this, do it this way. I've got the best answer. I'm sorry. The one who has the best answers are the ones that are listening to their heart, to their joy. Because when you follow your joy, your children learn to follow their joy. And when you follow your joy, you are aligning with your purpose. When your children follow their joy, they learn at a very young age to follow their purpose. So, how can we do that? And teaching our children some joyful moments is the best. Hello,
Oh
Christian.
yes, it is the
Welcome.
best. It is definitely the best. No, 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 no. You know what's the best is when you see them. Oh, when you see them reciprocate what you live now.
Hmm. Doesn't
Oh
that?
God. Oh, that's not. That's the best.
Yeah.
When you've made changes, when you're making strides, when you're making little adjustments,
Yes.
and when they recognize you for it, gosh, that's. But when they repeat it, they put it into action in whatever they're doing,
Yeah.
and you catch that, and you just see that, and it just makes you reflect and understand that these little things are exactly what we say that really matter.
Hmm.
They're not gonna remember the toy you bought them. They're gonna remember how
Yes.
you put them to bed, how
Yeah.
you speak with them, how
Yes.
you how you encourage them, how
Yeah.
sometimes we compare them, how
Mm.
sometimes we measure them.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
what is the today's topic? Your joy story. Oh gosh, yeah. Let me tell you.
Well, I okay. Go ahead.
No,
There was
no, I just
another part I was aligning it to our value, and I talked about how reaching for the top of the mountain, if you're listening to everybody at the bottom of the mountain, you may not be hearing what's happening at the top and being making it harder for you to reach the top. And
perspectives.
yes, and to me, sometimes we need a support system. And is that support system at the bottom of our hill, our mountain? Or is it a support system that's at the top of our mountain and is encouraging us to continue our climb so that we continue aligning our decisions with our values? There was a lot of stuff today.
So let me jump in because I'm
Go
excited.
for
As always, I'm excited. But you know that actually they say that one of the things that you should do after graduating high school is getting yourself out of that community.
it.
One of the things that I didn't realize before was, and this is exactly what you're mentioning, is those that are around you, they kind of peg you. So we like to do elementary basics, right? So square box, right? Whatever
Yeah.
you got, square box. They pegged you as a circle, and in that community, and that in your community, in your elementary, in your middle school, in your high school. Okay, so you're a circle. Now, as a circle, you're going, hey, I don't really, I I'm not as sharp. You start looking around the world and going in interviews, or you get out of high school and you're going, hey, I want to sharpen up some things. I want to refine some things. I want to work on some things. I want to explore some things. Well, now there's that love and that care. Oh, you'll be fine. Oh, you're just out of high school. And some kids prepare are starting to prepare middle school for high school, and in middle school
Yeah.
preparing for high school, And in the first year of high school, they're preparing already for college or university. And then there's some of those rare folks, young children, that start preparing in middle school for college because
Yeah.
they're that advanced, which again, amazing, 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 encouraging to those that do and
And can
are
I
there.
just say this? When you say that, it reminds me, I have a neighbor, and this little guy at 7 years old, like he's a born engineer. He's always building things and, you know, he was working. I don't know how this project went, but the last time I talked to his mom, he was working on a project that when you walk, you've got something in your shoe that will recharge your cell phone while you walk. And he's 11 now. Can you imagine?
Oh yes,
Beautiful. It's
yes.
so beautiful to, and that's what it means to be able to allow your child to be themselves
That's it. That's it.
without putting
Yes,
this,
yes,
putting them
yes.
in this box that we
Yes, yes.
want. Because when we put them in that box, well, they don't dare be themselves. And there's so many things we can continue tomorrow because this is a huge, huge topic. And we do it unconsciously. And
That's
I
it right there. That's it right there.
did it so
Let, let,
many times
let me just
unconsciously.
jump in. Let me just jump in because
Go for
it's
it.
love.
Yeah.
It's love. The way that we understand love, folks. It's a protection. I don't
Mhm.
want him to. And this is. I'll be really quick here with this point. The little 7-year-old wants to read. My little one is reading the fourth grade level. He
Yeah.
picks up books, comprehensions, and writing.
Yeah.
Now, I had a stigma with reading. I would
Mhm.
even go around proudly boasting, I graduated high school without a single book report in my senior year, without turning a single book report. And people were like, "Really? Yeah,
Yeah. How
well,
did you do that?
yeah, how could you do that?" So, but I take this as a learning experience and to say, I didn't like when people would hear me read because of things in my early years. So fast forward to equipping our little ones and breaking these cultural, these generational,
Mm,
and these world views. That's what the ripple effect of love is for, right? Is
yes.
to let's make a change and get it spread about. And
Yeah.
this is it. So I don't want my child to be made fun of. So I don't want him to grab a book and then he's trying to read and it's upside down. Now
Mm,
you're going, what? You're reading? It's upside down. You're not reading. And we start
yeah.
making a humorous point of it. Well, now that little one, depending on their age, their understanding, and even who they are, they may say, well, I don't want to be made feel that way. And I was just trying to read. Well, I don't want to read. Remember, we get into spits and these conundrums and rage because we cannot communicate clearly what we want to communicate with our words.
Can I add that that lack of communication that you're using is an unconscious fear?
Of course, unconscious. And that's the
Because we,
hijacking.
yes,
Boom,
the
it's done.
fear,
You think you're doing it to care. You think you're doing it to discipline. You think it's good. You think you're being funny. And again, it's
mhm,
a triggering mechanism that is automated.
yeah,
So allowing yourself to self-regulate. She's going to chime in as we talk.
yes, while you're self-regulating with Christian, if you notice that your child is picking up books, reading, and all of a sudden they're not, oh, try and go back and see what happened, what was said, or in a very calm environment, bring them to this calm environment so that they can have enough trust in you to share the information of why they're not able or don't want to read anymore. Because if they want it and then they don't, something happened. Was it you? Was it a sibling? Was it the teacher? You know, there are so many different, an uncle that visited and saw them. What are you doing with your book upside down? You know, and remember that between 0 and 7, children don't get the humor, they only get the words. So that might be what misinterpreted how the brain registered that. And that's why we need to be very careful with our words.
Okay.
So much.
That's see here we talk about misinterpreted, but we have to understand that when
Yeah.
we're working with love and when we're using love and when we're self-regulating, it allows us to then be able to pick apart those
Yes.
maybe old traits, maybe be able to take out, we talked about the basket, right? And so taking out, we've talked about menus, food menus or food choices. We
Yes.
choose to pass the plate. We choose to just throw away. And
Mhm.
you say, well, the brain is going to protect and the brain deflects and the brain defects and defends. So even that you tell yourself and understand our brains are going to equip themselves to protect themselves. So then when we're speaking and when we're doing what we're doing with our littles or with our partners or with our coworkers, we
Yeah.
just have to maintain in that space of
Yes.
consciousness, of that
Yes.
kindness, of that love, and that spirited. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'm going to leave you back with Christine again. Continue and go forward with that.
Thank you so much, Kristen, for joining in and adding your 2 cents. I love it. It adds value, I find, and
Thank
I'm
you.
always glad to have you
Mhm.
join us in.
Oh,
So have
I'm
a
sorry, you're on
great
mute.
day, and I will see you tomorrow. And to everyone else, I hope you enjoyed today's show on the ripple effect of love for dads and families. If you know someone who could use support, who might be looking for different ways to improve their parenting skills, send them to the ripple effect of love for dads and families. It's on YouTube. They can catch the past episodes. So if you need to get in touch with me, book a discovery call, there's the QR code. Here's my other information. And I look at the emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, and energetic levels so that you get a well rounded um, view of what's going on in your life. So, on this note, I look forward